And welcome to this session of Ask Advisory. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Anna and I am the founder of Advisory. And I have worked with over 100 different clients on advertising and marketing over the last 10 years. I have an MBA in finance and marketing, and I started Advisory because I wanted to give marketing expertise and make them accessible to businesses of all sizes. So at Advisory, we work with solopreneurs to big corporations, and our focus is really digital marketing and paid media. So we have really set out to kind of almost demystify digital marketing. One, because a lot of people don't understand it, even the big guys. And two, because what's amazing about digital marketing and advertising is that it puts every business on the same playing field. So whether you're a solopreneur or a big corporation, you can get into the game, you can use digital advertising to grow your business, and you don't need giant budgets to do it. So today I am talking about 3 simple ways to find your target audience on Facebook and Instagram. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about targeting, so this is something really important that you need to understand when you're starting to do Facebook and Instagram ads outside of just boosting a post. Now, if this topic is super interesting to you, just remember we have these Ask Advisory sessions every Tuesday and Thursday. So make sure to put your comments below if you have any questions about Facebook or Instagram ads or digital marketing or just small business entrepreneurship, whatever it may be. Share with us because we love to hear your feedback, and I love to see the comments and questions that are coming through so that we can create even better content for you and that is relevant to your business. All right, so today I'm really going to talk about the kind of targeting 101. So the pretty basics of targeting when it comes to Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, you might be saying, I've done this before, I don't need to listen to the basics, but this is probably going to help you in some way, shape, or form. So there's really 3 ways that you can target and find your audience on Facebook and Instagram. And those 3 ways are behaviors and interests, lookalike audiences, and then your customized audiences. So first, let's start with the very beginning. So when you're very first starting, especially if your business is pretty new and you don't really have a following, you don't have an email list, you're not getting a lot of website traffic, you're going to need to start with behavior and interest targeting. Now, behavior and interest targeting is everything from choosing the demographics of, do you want to go after females or males? What age group do you want to go after? Is there a certain income or education that you want to focus on? Education level. Those are the very, very basics. And what's great is you can even choose, someone who's married, who rents a home, who owns a home, who has kids from under the age of 10, whatever it may be. Those demographics are really kind of the starting point if you've never done Facebook and Instagram ads before. Now, once you kind of have figured out the demographics of your target audience, there's also the behaviors and interests. And these are more things that have to do with what the target audience is interested in or has expressed interest in. So when you're choosing behaviors and interests, you can choose things like people's job titles, or you can target people who like other pages. Now, one thing to note here is that if you want to target an audience, I'm just going to give this an example. You want to target people who like Advisory's Facebook page. You're probably not going to be able to do that because I don't have a giant audience of like 150,000 people who have liked Advisory. Maybe someday, but not right now. So if you want to find other people who do digital marketing or digital advertising, you might want to do things like people who just in general like advertising, or people who have liked Ad Age, or people who have liked Social Media Examiner. Those things help you find those people. So when you are going after interests, based on what pages people have liked. You need to make sure that those pages have a big enough audience. Otherwise, you're not going to find them as an option. Now, one thing I do want to note is that when you are selecting behaviors and interests, it's really easy to get either a way too small of an audience or a way too broad of an audience. So when you are adding in different targets, make sure that you are watching the little meter on the top right-hand corner. That is going to tell you, one, if your audience is too specific or too broad, and it's going to tell you exactly what your potential reach is. So the potential reach is how many people within that group that you've selected you could possibly reach. Now, if it's too small, then you're either going to pay a lot more for your ads, or maybe it'll be super efficient. So the biggest thing, and if you guys watch these a lot, is you just have to test. But just remember that when you are adding in different audiences, every box is a layer unless you have multiple things within a box. So we go through all of this within Advisory Insiders step by step on exactly how to choose your target audience, understanding the different layers of when you're setting up your ad sets. So if it's something that you've tried before and you want to learn more about because it's just a little overwhelming, I highly recommend getting into Advisory Insiders. Or if you haven't, make sure to take our mini course, and the link is here in the video. Now, once you have done your behaviors and interests, and you've either created enough traffic, or you have, let's say you already have an email list, or you already have a lot of people visiting your website, you can build something called a look-alike audience. So let's step back and talk about the basics of data, right? So you have two different types of data. One is first-party data, and that's data that you own that is specific to your business and that you own. And then third-party data is someone else's data, right? So when you're choosing behaviors and interests, that's third-party data. Now, when you're creating a audience based off of your email list, because it's your email list, that's first-party data. Lookalike audiences, you can actually kind of do a combination of both. So a lookalike audience is an audience that is based off of an audience that you've already built. So first of all, if you haven't done this already, even if you're not doing Facebook and Instagram ads, make sure to put your Facebook pixel on your website today. Just do it, because no matter what, it's free. You won't regret it. You will regret it if you decide to start doing Facebook and Instagram ads at some point, because you aren't going to have any of that data. So first thing you need to do is put your pixel on there. All right, that was a little side note. But you could create lookalike audiences off of people who look like people who have visited your website, right? So when you're talking about a lookalike audience, it is basing it off of an audience you already have and then going and finding more people who are like them. So it's a very, very, very powerful targeting tactic through Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, you can do that. You can build lookalike audiences off of people who have visited your website, people who have purchased from you, your email list, page fans, people who have visited specific pages on your websites. There is just a huge amount of different things that you can build lookalike audiences off of, and they are really, really powerful. Now, one thing to note is that you need to have a big enough audience to get a lookalike audience created, and also for it to be really effective. So if you are just starting out and you have, 10 people on your email list, you're not going to want to create a lookalike audience off of those 10 people. One, because they're most likely your family and friends and maybe not your target customer. But two, that there's just not enough data for Facebook to really understand a lot about those people. So as a general rule, whatever audience you're creating a lookalike off of needs to have at least 100 different people, or 100 different actions that have happened, such as like 100 people going to your website over the last 30 days or since you placed your pixel on it. So that is the second way that you can target, and it's super, super powerful. The third is that you can use the first-party data that I was talking about to create customized audiences. So these are really people who have already raised their hand and said, hey, I'm interested in what you have to offer and I want to learn more. These are what we call your warm audiences. So your custom audiences are when you create audiences based off of either certain actions or when you do like an uploading your email list and then you target your email list through Facebook and Instagram ads. So those customized audiences are also super important because you want to stay top of mind of those warm audiences. Those warm audiences who have already said that you're interested in what you have to offer, you're going to be able to convert them a lot easier than converting cold audiences. So if you aren't even paying attention to those warm audiences, you should absolutely start there. So those are your page fans, your email lists, your website visitors. Those are people who have, again, are super interested in you. They need to be reminded of what you have to offer and why they should choose you. So those are your customized audiences. Now what's really cool too is that you can create custom audiences off of people who have purchased from you in the last 180 days but haven't purchased from you in the last 60 days. So those people are like, hey, they've purchased from you before. This is extremely powerful, especially for e-commerce. They've purchased from you before, but they haven't purchased from you recently. So you need to get in front of them and remind them of what you have to offer. You have to remember that you need to get in front of people a minimum of 3 times before they actually take the action that you want to get them to take. So that most people who go to a website, less than 1% are actually going to buy anything or take any sort of action that you want them to take. So you need to continue to remind them, and using your customized audiences and your warm audiences will really help you do that. Now, one question I get a lot is, should I do behavior and interest targeting or should I do lookalike targeting? Here's the answer. You should do both. Yes, you should do both. If you can, do both. The reason why is because every single business is different, every single data set is different, and you want to do both and test them to see which one does best. Everything about marketing is about testing, and that means you can't put your eggs all in one basket. It's much better to start with 3 different ad sets at $5 a day and see which one performs better than putting $100 all in to one ad set and seeing if it works. So that is my tips for starting on how to start with targeting on Facebook and Instagram ads. There are 3 simple ways that you can reach your target audience, and if you have any other questions about targeting in general, make sure to put them in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out our free mini course. And if you're thinking about joining Advisory Insiders, I highly recommend it because especially when it comes to targeting, it's an area that people get really tripped up on, and we have tons of step-by-step guides on how to get through it. And of course, you have the community and you have live Q&A sessions with me to get all of your answers or all of your questions answered. All right, until next time, I will see you later. Have a fabulous day. And remember, we have these Ask Advisory sessions every Tuesday and Thursday. Thanks, guys. And hi, Carla.